How to knit a heart for beginners. Hi everyone, my name is Norman. I run the blog nimbleneedles.com, and today I want to show you everything you need to know about knitting a heart shape the easy way. This is a really simple pattern using garter stitch, and as you can see, you knit it flat. Since a heart is a somewhat complex geometrical shape, you will also need to know one knitting increase and one knitting decrease. But I promise to show you everything step by step so you can easily knit along even if you're a beginner. So let's dive right into it. Let's talk about the materials first. You will need some yarn and knitting needles. Any kind of yarn works, just make sure you're using relatively small needles compared to the weight of your yarn to achieve a nice and crisp stitch definition. And then you will also need a tapestry needle and scissors. I'll put links to all of these items in the description below. You will also find a link to the pattern in the description, so don't forget to download that. It's for free and contains quite a couple of helpful tips. And then we're ready to start. Start by casting on 3 stitches using a long tail cast on, leaving a tail of around 6 inches for weaving in later on. And then simply knit across those 3 stitches. So pick your other needle and knit across. Knit across. And from here, we will knit across each row with a KFB knit front back increase as the last stitch until we have altogether 7 stitches. So knit 2, and then knit into the front loop, keep the stitch on the needle and knit into the back loop. I'll link you my full KFB tutorial up in here in case you need to catch up. And then turn around and knit until you reach that last stitch, 3 stitches in this case, and then knit front, knit back again, and continue like this until you have altogether 7 stitches on your needle. So always knit until the very last stitch and KFB. So I have my 7 stitches here, and now simply knit across one more row. Knit across one row without increasing, so you still should have 7 stitches at the end of the row. And now you finished the left lobe of your heart, and now you can simply cut away that working yarn, leaving a tail of 6 to 8 inches. So we finished the left lobe and we need another one. So what you have to do is you have to slide this left loop to the middle, or rather close to the end of your needle, and then cast on another 3 stitches. So cast on another 3 stitches using the same needle. This is important, using the same needle. And then repeat the steps I showed you one more time. So knit across and then increase with a KFB in every row until you have 7 stitches on your needles, and then knit across one more time, and I'll see you there. So once you finish knitting across that last row, things should look like this. I didn't cut the working yarn like I did before because we will continue knitting from here. So slide those 2 parts together, and then we will knit across, and we will knit 2 together the center stitches. So let's do that. So knit 6, knit 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now you need to knit these 2 stitches together. What really helps if you tension this tail as well, this makes it much easier to knit them together. Go slowly and don't overstretch the stitches, this is important, and then continue knitting. Continue knitting. I'll link you my knit 2 together tutorial up in here in case you need to catch up. And now that we joined the 2 pieces together, we need to knit across 4 more rows. So 4 more rows of pure knit stitches. So just knit across and I'll see you there. I finished knitting those 4 rows, and from here you need to knit across all rows, but always knit 2 together the last 2 stitches. So for the first row it's knit 11 and then knit 2 together, then turn around, knit 10 and knit 2 together. So you decrease towards the tip. So let's do that. So knit across until there are only 2 stitches left. So let me get there quickly. Knit across. So knit across. And now knit 2 together these 2 stitches. So insert your needle into them 2 at a time and then, then knit them together. And you need to repeat that until you have only 3 stitches left. So knit across again, knit across until you have only 2 stitches left. 2, and then knit these stitches together. If it's a bit too tight, you can loosen up that last stitch and then knit them together and turn around and so on until you have only 3 stitches left. So I finished decreasing all stitches and I only have 3 stitches left, and now simply knit across 1 more row without decreasing. So 1 more row. And then you can simply cut the working yarn, leaving a tail of, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches. And then thread the tail on a tapestry needle. Thread it on a tapestry needle. And now simply pull the yarn through those 3 remaining stitches. Through all these stitches. Remove the needle and simply pull tight. And there is your finished heart. The only thing that remains is weaving in the tails. Weaving in the tails is the only tricky part. You basically have 2 choices. If you want a reversible heart and use both sides, then I recommend weaving in the tails through the edges here. Weave in the tail through the edges and then cut the yarn, go right through the edge. This will be a bit visible from the other side as well though. Or if you don't mind that there's one side that is maybe a bit less neat, then you can weave in the tails any way you like. So you could weave around these pearl ribs here, or go diagonally any way you like, and you need to weave in all those 4 tails, so either through the edges or on the back side. And there's one last thing. I used the cotton yarn for this heart, and cotton is incredibly unforgiving, so you will see any small and minor mistake. As you start out, you might consider using a slightly fussy yarn, so some standard wool or alpaca or anything like that, because that will hide smaller mistakes so much better. And that's it. That's how to knit a heart shape. I really hope you enjoyed this video and knitting along with me. Please give me a big thumbs up if you liked my tutorial, comment with your feedback or your questions, and of course consider subscribing to my channel in case you don't want to miss any new videos. Happy knitting and enjoy the rest of your day!